This sounds ridiculous, but there was a lot of good in that loss yesterday in Pittsburgh. Colts lose 27-20, but there was a lot of good there. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly from that game. There was some ugly. We haven't had ugly in a while because there's nothing ugly in a win. Colts did not get the win yesterday. They turned the ball over 6 times. That's going to lead you to a lot of losses. This is the first time that the Colts have turned the ball over 6 times since 2007. The last guy to do it, Peyton Manning. It happens. Don't worry about it. It's not a death knell for this team that previously was 7-1 and is now 7-2. The good thing is they're not going to turn the ball over 6 times every single week. And if they had turned the ball over 4 times instead of 6, they win that game. They're a better team than the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were a better team yesterday than the Steelers. They should have won that game. It's unfortunate that they didn't. We'll go over, again, the good, the bad, and the ugly. There was nothing ugly whatsoever about Indiana football's absolute annihilation of Maryland. They are destroying teams. They are taking the souls of their opponents to this point. But none of that counts for this coming week. They got to go to Happy Valley and take on Penn State. And if you don't have your eyes on the details, dot I's, cross T's, you are not going to win against Penn State at Happy Valley. That's just the way that it is. You've got to show up week after week after week. Now, if they beat Penn State, then we get to talk about some things that are likely to happen because the last 2 games are against a Wisconsin team without an offensive line and a Purdue team that's still trying to find its sea legs in its first season under Coach Odom. So there you go. But we'll talk about all of that. And we'll talk about the Pacers. They host the Bucks tonight. And there should be a kind of a roadmap to positive behavior for Pacers fans tonight. And by positive, I mean the kind of thing that's going to leave a mark with Myles Turner. And the thing that'll leave the biggest mark with Myles Turner, it's not boos. Boos he expects. It's not cheers. It's indifference. And that should be the response of Pacers fans upon Myles Turner's return. This is Breakfast with Kent for Monday, November 3rd, 2025, brought to you by the great people at YouTube TV. How much does YouTube TV care about you and your money? They are going to the wall, going to the mattresses against Disney with ESPN, ABC, the Disney networks, all right? They don't want you to have to pay more money. So when that company wanted more cash from you each month, YouTube TV said, nah, we're not doing that to our customers. Now, they're at loggerheads, so we don't have ESPN and ABC, and I couldn't give a damn less. I do not miss it, not one little bit. That's fine by me. YouTube TV, hold the line. Make ESPN, Disney, come back to the table, and you tell them how it's going to be. If you want to subscribe to YouTube TV for the first time, click the link that will be in the show description immediately after we finish here, and you get $15 off your first month. How about that? Become a member. Easy. You get 2 levels of membership. Both levels of membership can join and take part in the little Saturday hoedown that we do. It's a get-together. It's a hobnob. It's a discussion that we have each and every week, Saturday mornings, where we just kind of chop it up. It's fun. We enjoy ourselves. You should join us, literally. Then you want to become a subscriber, because when you become a subscriber, we got autographed. Look, it's a Dominic Rhodes. I'm giving away too much. Giving away too much. We do it every Monday afternoon. We'll do it today. In order to win, you must be a subscriber to be eligible, and you must use a phrase that pays in a comment to gain an entry in the drawing. We pulled 10 tickets out. We affix them to the fabulous prize wheel, spin the prize wheel, and we give away an autographed Colts jersey. And there you go. We've got 5 of them for over the next 5 weeks. We also have a mystery prize that will round out the 6, and we'll see if we finally give away the mystery prize. Smash the like button. And if you want to make a donation, no big whoop, but please include a comment or a question that lifts the level of discourse here, all right? Toby Northern says, amen, and right on. Seth Thomas says, we had 6 turnovers and only lost by a touchdown. We will be straight, my friends. I believe that's true. JD's takes. The problem with Danny's biggest knock is he's no good under stress. He showed yesterday he could still be the same old Giants Danny. I hope he turns it back around next week. I'll tell you that the Falcons' defense is for real. It is a very, very good defense. Charles Egger says, IU football injury updates. Good morning, Kent. Minus 14.5 IU. I love the minus 14.5. Everybody continues to underestimate Indiana and their ability to just put teams away. Aiden Fisher, we'll see if he plays this week. Nothing else too terribly bad for Indiana. You do have one injury that you do need to note, and that is Drew Evans, who's going to be out for a couple of weeks. So there is that. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the Colts' loss to the Steelers yesterday. We'll go with the good first because we're positive people. This is what you do. You lead strong. Pittman and Pierce, 115 yards receiving each yesterday. Michael Badgley kicks 2, not 1, but 2 50-plus yard field goals. The tackle by Tedder Bortolini after the Jones pick was really, really good. Is JT still the MVP? No, not now. You can't have an MVP put up 45 yards in a game like that against the Steelers. You just can't. It's not JT's fault. I thought he got it rolling a little bit there in the second half, but by the time you got 2 scores down, they parked JT. Yes, Toby, you're right. However, stepping up in the pocket is the thing he could do, or maybe escape a little bit. He needed to step up. And I know the interior of the line was being pushed back, so it was a little bit tougher. But you've got to be able to see it, and you've got to be able to go down. If Braden Smith's going to get beat around the edge, you either have to step up or you got to crumble. You can't throw 3 picks and fumble the ball twice. You just can't. The other fumble was Josh Downs on that punt return. What the hell's he doing? Get the hell out of there, nutty guy. Toby says that's crazy considering Louisville is minus 19.5. Kent had a chance to shut the doubters and prove the Colts were the real deal. Yeah, I don't care about any of that. Shutting people up and proving things. You do that in January. You don't do that in a random November game on the road. 7-2. 7-2 ain't bad. 7-2, I'm going to live with. If at the beginning of the season you'd have said 7-2 after 9 weeks, I'd have said thank you. The loss by the Bengals to the Bears might prompt a sell-off at the deadline. Tomorrow is the deadline. What are the Colts going to do? The defense held the Steelers to 4 of 12 on third down conversions. You do that, you're going to win a lot of games. Colts 5 of 5 converting on fourth downs. Like what? 5 of 5, and they lost. DJ can't drop that deep, too much time. He needs quick ball release to Colts receivers. They were playing press, so they needed time. I really thought in the second half they were going to adjust and they were going to come out and be able to move the ball at will. They did not move the ball at will. They did score 20 for the 9th consecutive time. But you can kind of see what the Colts need to do to win games. And that's score like 28, 29 points or more. When they do that, they're 7-0. When they don't do that, they're 0-2. Is Pittman really okay after that dirty head hit? Steichen did not update anybody on anything. He did come back into the game. But I really thought that if there's one where you're going to have a guy at the end of the game go, ooh, man, ooh, symptoms, I thought maybe that was going to be it. That's a good question. Colts outgained the Steelers 368 to 225. Latu with 2.5 sacks. That's the kind of day you hope to get out of Latu on the regular. The first 6 turnover game since Veterans Day of 2007, November 11th, 2007 against the Chargers. All 6 TDs or turnovers were Manning interceptions. How about that? Threw a 6-bagger, a pick 6. Personal foul on Jalen Jones at the end of the first half. It led to a field goal to put the Steelers up 17-7. Good to defend teammates, but not at the cost of 15 yards. You got to figure that out. You can't go that far in your defense. JT was working in the second half. They woulda, coulda, shoulda stayed with the run, but you can't. When time's that short, you just can't. That's the way it goes. How more bad, 24 points off turnovers. All right. Dude needs a fine for that filthy hit on Pittman. I completely agree because that was on purpose. That was ear holing a guy. I'm not always good with the targeting foul resulting in an ejection in college football, but that should have happened yesterday. That he should have been run. The ugly. The Colts are 2-18 all time against the Steelers, including prior to the merger. So prior to 1970, they won in 1968. I don't know whether that was at Forbes Field. I don't know where that game was back in 1968. But the Colts 2-18. Let's talk about the Hoosiers. Hoosiers absolutely destroyed the Maryland Terrapins. Horrible loss for Maryland, where I think Loxley was completely exposed as a pretty damn untalented coach. You know, I thought Indiana was just the better coach team. I thought that was really where the rubber met the road in this game, was in Cignetti's leadership and these guys showing up, making every tackle, playing really, really good football. Open fielding tackle wasn't perfect against Maryland, but it was good enough. And I thought the offense was terrific. The offensive line was awesome. They tried to take away the throw. So what did Indiana do? Indiana ran and ran and ran and ran. 55-10, it was drama-free after being down 3-0. The 21 points in the first half of the third quarter absolutely sealed it. The defense forced 5 turnovers. No Fisher, no problem. Hopefully, Fisher back for this week. 3 running backs with 80 yards or more. Charles Eggers says Jeff Utzinger, Cathedral Kid, got in. Loxley out. There you go. Cathedral football's awesome. Toby says these ESPN odds are just about worthless. They've got Ohio State at minus 28.5 versus Purdue. That is going to be a steamroll, and it is. What they're trying to do is they're trying to even up the money, right? That's what you try to do with the line. Get 50% on this side, 50% on that side. I don't know if that line for Indiana, Penn State is going to drive a lot of action on the Penn State side. I know Indiana's never won at Penn State. Indiana's never had a game like this or a team like this at Penn State. Cleanup time for Colts. It is. It's going to be a busy Monday. Surratt, with a hamstring tweak, projects to be okay for this weekend, and that's a good thing. He was removed more for just kind of precautionary reasons. Pacers tonight, 7 o'clock against the Bucks. Randy Smith says Indiana has scored 50 points 5 times this year. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? The amount of points that they've scored, just incredible, right? They are plus 188 in the Big Ten. They've scored almost 400 points, and they have allowed just under 100 at 97, which is just ridiculous. Myles Turner, Barstow Media says, returns to Indy tonight. How do you think he'll be received? And will they play some cheesy video package for him? Not sure what they'd put on it. I totally agree. I don't think they should have a cheesy video. I don't like cheesy videos, and I don't think they should. I think you do that for a champion. You do that for Reggie Miller. You do that for a guy you're going to hoist his number into the rafters. You don't do it for Myles Turner. What you do for Myles Turner is when he's introduced as a part of the Bucs starting lineup, you politely applaud. That's what you do. Because that shows indifference. And people should be utterly indifferent to Myles Turner. Good question, Joseph Clearwater. What is the phrase that pays? We have saved it until the end of the video to reward those of you who stuck till the end. The phrase, you got to be a member in order to win. To enter, you have to come with the phrase that pays in a comment in order to enter. Then everybody gets a ticket and a hat. I pull out 10. I put them on the fabulous prize wheel. All right. It is a timely process, or a time-intensive process. The phrase that pays today is whoops, because that was Daniel Jones Day yesterday. Whoops. And really, it should be something about Myles, shouldn't it? Hopefully, no raucous cheering and no booing tonight to welcome Myles Turner to a place that he never saw as his home. Yeah, the comment can be anywhere. You can put it in a comment here live, or in as you watch recorded comment. Just comment whoops. You get an entry. All right, let's celebrate some birthdays, shall we? Michael Woodward, happy birthday. Jeff Maroney, happy birthday. Cherie Connor Palma, happy birthday. Jay Davis, Ellen Persifield, Alex Tuttle, Evan Makovsky celebrating a birthday. Happy birthday to Evan. Johnny Burrell, happy birthday. Ken Dishner, happy birthday. Not Woods, whoops, Mark. Whoops. That's the phrase that pays. Carla Becker, happy birthday. The great Rich Nye, celebrating a birthday. I have a lot of respect for the way Rich Nye has conducted himself with WTHR Channel 13. Got to tell you the truth. Gene Matthews, happy birthday. The great Chuck Crabb, please drive carefully. Celebrating a birthday, the former PA announcer and all-around great guy at Indiana Athletics, the great Greg Cooper. Happy birthday to Greg. We're in this house. Greg was our real estate agent 10 years ago and found us this house. Thanks to Greg Cooper and the great Mike Henn, celebrating a birthday. Happy birthday to Mike. If today's your birthday, you celebrate like hell. If it's not your birthday, you celebrate somebody else. That's best done with an honest and specific compliment. Lift each other up. Do not pull each other down. Even lift Myles Turner up a little bit, although I think polite applause would crush his soul. Booing, not going to bug him. Booing, he'd be like, see, I got to these people. I am living rent-free in their noodles. Polite applause, they're like, don't they know? Don't they remember? Maybe not. Polite applause is the worst. Booing shows passion. Cheering shows passion. Polite applause, I got no passion either way for Myles Turner. None.